Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our conversation on eating during a pandemic, prioritizing your family's nutrition in unprecedented times. Today joining us is Gwyneth Bradshaw. She is a licensed dietitian, and also we have Bonnie Larimore, my colleague with Parents Place of Maryland. My name is Leilani. I'm a parent educator for the Parents Place of Maryland, the Lower Shore region, and the mission statement for ppmd is to empower families as advocates and partnerships in improving education and health outcomes for their children and special health care needs. Some of the services that ppmd offers to our families that work with us are providing one-on-one assistance for families, leadership training. We share resources to families and things like that. And a little bit about Gwyneth is she is originally from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. She attended the University of Maryland College Park to obtain her bachelor's in food and nutrition. From there, she completed her dietetic internship at University of Maryland Eastern Shore, which concentrated in diabetes. During college, Gwyneth also became certified as a personal trainer through the American College of Sports Medicine and a registered yoga teacher. She works at Fixer Upper Fitness as a trainer, yoga instructor, and private practice dietitian. In her spare time, she loves spending time with her one-year-old son, Cole, and her husband, Adrian.
So good morning, everybody. I'm Bonnie Larimore. I'm also a parent educator for the Eastern Shore region. I have been with Parents Place about 14 years, I believe. I've been very active in doing this type of work and have been for a very long time, clear back into my childhood. I am a parent of 3 children. I had a son who had multiple disabilities, including a connective tissue disorder called Marfan, along with having diabetes and autism and bipolar, and the cocktail goes on and on. But what I'd like to say about that is that as parents, oftentimes we're told that our children are not going to be able to exceed in life, and that you're always having to worry about, oh, they're going to get hurt, they're never going to be able to do this or that. But I can say that having the experience of letting up on some of the reins and allowing my child to experience things that a lot of families would not, gave him the opportunity to succeed in all that he wanted to do in life. He passed away in 2014. So I just wanted to share that sometimes as parents, we're always so afraid that something might happen to our children, but the quality of life is very important. So thank you and welcome.
All right, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Gwyneth so she can do her presentation.
All right, well, like Leilani said, my name is Gwyneth, and I'm a dietitian at Fixer Upper Fitness. I also work at a few other rehabilitation centers, but I'm very excited to be talking to you today as a mother, but also as a dietitian, to just discuss, how to eat in a crisis like we are in right now. So thank you guys for having me. We'll go ahead and dive right in. So I just want to talk about first, I know a lot of times the priority is to try to get your kids to eat healthy foods. And I know that a lot of kids with special needs are very particular about the foods that they eat. They have taste or texture aversions. And so I just wanted to share some strategies that we help parents with to increase the intake of healthy foods. So the number one thing is just involving your children in the cooking process. And the cooking process is from the grocery store, from planning the meals, all the way to serving the meal on the table. And the more that you can involve your children in these things, the more likely they will be to actually eat the food that has been prepared. So in planning the grocery list, depending on how old your child is, they might just say, I want to eat this week, but asking them some of their favorite foods that you can find recipes together. I mean, that would be a great way to help get them involved in picking the foods. Helping with the grocery shopping. So even with my 1-year-old, you know, it might seem silly, but when we go to the grocery store, you know, we talk about what we're picking out and what kind of foods we see. And he likes to look at all the produce, letting them pick recipes. And then when it gets time to like actually do the cooking, there are age appropriate ways to help let your kids help you cook. So babies can help. I put like a little pot and a spoon down on the floor, and my son loves to, you know, stir and pretend like he's helping mom. But as they get older, they can help actually prepare the food. Maybe not cutting up the vegetables yet, but stirring the pot, or, you know, timing the food in the oven. The more you can involve them in the process, the better. And then I know a lot of times, especially in this last, you know, 4 or 5 months, a lot of people started a garden at home, just because what else do you do when you're stuck at home all day? And maybe that seems a little bit overwhelming, but starting with like a little bit of an herb garden might be a good idea. So you can buy potted herbs if you want, get basil and cilantro and things like that. But if you have those available, then they can, you know, smell the leaves and taste them, and then they might be more willing to try them in a recipe as well. The next point is something that I'm very passionate about myself, because I see a lot of people my age and older that don't have a great relationship with food. And so the more you can do to foster a healthy relationship with food from the very beginning is great. So I know a lot of parents want to hide vegetables in the meals, or in smoothies, or, you know, in macaroni and cheese and things like that. But it's important to teach your kids that vegetables and fruits and healthy foods aren't something that should be hidden, but rather something to be enjoyed and celebrated. And, you know, they're delicious foods, even if kids may not like them from the start. The more we can introduce and the more that they can try them, the more they smell and taste and look at all different textures, the more willing they might be in the future. So instead of hiding vegetables, you know, really display them in the front of the meal, and, you know, get excited about eating your vegetables, and maybe your kids will follow suit as well. Another one is just setting healthy habits by leading through example. A lot of people say more is caught than taught. So you can teach your kids about healthy foods, but if they see you eating healthy foods and trying a variety of things and not being scared to try new recipes or new actual food products, then they might have that adventurous spirit as they get older as well. Another one is just not using foods as punishments or rewards. It's not healthy for a child to feel like they have to earn dessert or earn a snack or anything like that. Food is something that should be separate from behavior. It shouldn't be used as a punishment. It also really shouldn't be used as a reward, because it kind of creates this connotation where food can be bad or good, like a child could be bad or good. And that's not a healthy thing to do either. Okay.
That reminds me of a funny story.
Yeah.
I didn't like peas as a child. And I have this photograph because I grew up on a farm. So, you know, everything was grown at home.
Yeah.
And so my dad and mom put this bowl of peas in front of me. And of course, you know, rules and the way people sat together during meals 3 times a day was a lot different than today's world. Well, the rule was you had to eat your food or you could not get up from the table.
Oh, yeah.
So I sat there and sat there. I finally ate the cold peas.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm not going to go into the details of what happened afterwards on the kitchen table.
Uh-oh.
But my dad never did that again. But today I love peas. So I want to reiterate, do not use food as a punishment.
It's funny because my husband is a very, very picky eater. And, you know, when he was little, they would like pay him to try different foods. They would give him like actual money to try a spoonful of green beans or, and it didn't work. He still is very picky. But he would make himself sick. And I just feel like that's not the way to have a good relationship with different foods. If you're going to be sick when you eat it, then there's no point in you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, or your family may be cleaning up a mess like what happened to my family.
Absolutely. But you might like peas because they were in the garden at home, right, on the farm, and you
I
got
didn't
to
like them down then, but I love them now.
Oh, that's good. I mean, and that's a good point too, is having that healthy relationship spans years, where, like, for example, my son, when he was first eating, he hated scrambled eggs. And all of a sudden he really started liking them out of nowhere. But the more that you introduce a food, the better it can be. Okay. So with everything going on, it's important to talk about immune boosting foods for kids. I know there's a lot of worry and panic about the coronavirus and COVID-19, but even, you know, the flu season is coming up too. And so, you know, always and forever, we want to make sure that our kids have, you know, the best care that they can get as far as food and nutrition. So just a reminder, there are a lot of different ways to boost our immunity, and they're not just involved with food. And so in order to kind of create a well-balanced diet and a well-balanced life for your children, we want a few things to be true so that they are, you know, set to be as healthy as they can be. So make sure that they're getting adequate sleep. Do your best to keep an appropriate bedtime, you know, so that they are getting a full night's rest. That's really important in keeping your kids well. Also, trying to create a low stress home environment. I know that changes happen and things happen, but as best you can, make sure that you're not putting any of the stress that you're feeling, especially in the world that we're living in right now, onto your children, because we want to safeguard our kids as much as we can from the stresses of the world. We also want to make sure that they're getting enough physical activity, going outside as much as they can. I know at least here it's been really hot lately, but as much as they can, going outside and getting sunlight, and then overall just eating a well-balanced diet. So as much importance that we put on our antioxidants and our zinc and, you know, those micronutrients, the macronutrients, so like the big carbohydrates and protein and fat, we want to make sure that those things are balanced in our diet as well. So your child should be eating protein sources, even if they're vegetarian, that's okay. Making sure they're getting our legumes and seeds and nuts, things that will provide them with plenty of protein in their diet. Making sure that they're getting healthy carbohydrates like whole grains and fruits and starchy and non-starchy vegetables, as well as dairy products that have healthy fats in there as well. All that is very important when it comes to keeping our kids well through 6 seasons like we're in now. And then so the specific antioxidants that I want to talk about are vitamin C and vitamin E. Whenever our body has stress going on, and stress could be emotional stress, but also physical stress like fighting sicknesses and things like that, we need extra antioxidants to help keep our inflammation in our body down. So sources of vitamin C in our diet would be like broccoli and cauliflower, tomatoes, leafy greens, and then most people think of oranges when they think of vitamin C, but that's just one source of it, as well as pineapples and other fruits. Vitamin E is found in kind of like our nuts and seeds, avocado, like our healthy fats. But also leafy greens, eggs, and asparagus all have good sources of vitamin E in them. And then zinc. Zinc also helps, like an antioxidant, reduce some of the stress, but it also promotes the antibodies and our immune response in our body. It promotes those cells to go fight our battles for us, if that makes sense. So zinc is found in a lot of animal products, but also whole grains and legumes. Okay, so often we think about convenience foods that like fast food, junk food, snack items, and they are always, you know, kind of have the connotation of being unhealthy. But I want to talk to you about, you know, a lot of times with kids, we have to use convenience foods. And so I think if we can make those convenience items as healthy as possible, because there's always times when we're on the go. It's not realistic to always know that we're going to be home for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with all of the meal prep. So as much as we can, let's have items available for our kids that are delicious, but also nutritious for them. But with a little extra prep, some of the convenience items can also be nutritious for our kids. Like hard-boiled eggs, cheese sticks, sliced vegetables with dip on hand, hummus and pita or pretzels, yogurt, fruit cups, all those things that you can buy at the grocery store. You might have to slice your vegetables or you know, do a little bit of cooking in preparation with eggs and things like that. But if you have those available for your kids, then it would be, you know, super easy to just kind of just have them ready to go, because kids love to eat, and my kid is always wanting to snack on something. So if we can have those available, the more the better. At home, we use like a snack drawer. So when I go grocery shopping or when I prep the foods at the beginning of the week, I throw all of those prep foods into one space. And so right now, my son can't really, you know, go out and pick out what he wants from the fridge. But I know that they're all in one place, so I can just grab it, and then they're ready for him when he's hungry. If you have older kids, this might be a great way to say, if you're hungry, you can have any of the snacks in the snack drawer in the fridge, or you can have a basket of healthy snacks ready for them, so that they know that these foods are foods that they're welcome to anytime if their body's telling them they're hungry. And then maybe keep the special snacks, or, you know, maybe things like that they like more, like chips or, you know, more unhealthy things, keep them kind of up in the cabinet, so you can regulate that a little bit more. But if they feel free to eat those foods, then they'll feel a little bit more autonomy, a little bit more freedom in choosing their own foods. So that's kind of all I had prepared for you guys. I just want to stress more than anything, in a pandemic, or when the world is kind of shifting all around, nutrition, it's probably not your priority right now, and that's okay. I mean, we're all kind of doing our best in this season to prepare for our kids. I know the grocery stores still don't really have everything we need every time, and so do your best, and don't get frustrated if you guys slip up or you're, you know, tending towards more of those convenience items. Just remember that you're doing the best for your kids, and you know them best. And these are just some small ways that you can keep nutrition a priority, even in all the craziness that's going on.
Well, thank you. One of the things that I used to do for my kids was to put a bowl on the table and always have fruits and bananas and grapes, so that they didn't have to ask for permission. That bowl was always there, kind of like your snack drawer, but it was on the table. I was laughing when you said the snack drawer, because with everybody being stuck at home, I can just see the snack drawer just being depleted, like really quickly, out of boredom, out of probably boredom. So, but I like that suggestion for our families, the snack drawer. I think that's very positive. Leilani, do you have anything you'd like to ask? Or
We do the same thing at my house. We have snacks that are for healthier choices, so they don't have to ask to grab those. And if they want to eat 10 carrots or 20 carrots, like, that's fine. But then we have limits on our other snacks that are not so good for us. So that is a good idea for parents to. I've even seen on Pinterest, they have like little organizers that go in the refrigerator, and all those are organized for like the quick healthy snacks, and they just take from those. So there's lots of like good options out there to still make the kids want to grab those healthy snacks.
so Gwen, do you see a concern, or have you seen a concern where children do not like to drink water? And I know that you must. Could you give us some suggestions how a family may try to cut down on drinking a lot of soda and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the number one thing I think is if it's in the house, then they're gonna want it. So if you're keeping soda and juices and like Gatorades and things like that in the house, then they think it's kind of an option all the time. If you just don't keep it in the house, because really, honestly, even though we like soda too, it's best for us too just to not have those kind of things in the house. But if they really struggle with drinking water, I would encourage you, like we talked about at the beginning, to involve them in creating some special flavored waters, or
That's a good idea.
to try alternatives like that, where they can themselves, say, I'm going to know what it would taste like if we infuse this with berries today, or if we add some orange slices or lemon or lime. Because I don't always like drinking water either, but if I add some fruit, even just like a splash of fruit juice is helpful sometimes. It's like a treat rather than just drinking water again and again.
Yeah, if my kids see me add lemon or lime, then they want to know what is it and can they taste it, and they like that too. But thankfully, I've always, like, from the start up, started mine on water. And I know we're not supposed to use snacks and food as like a reward, but we do that for juice and stuff. So we drink water most of the time, and then they can have some juice. We don't buy sodas. But we try to encourage water as much as we can, especially when it's hot outside, to keep them hydrated. Thank you again, Gwyneth, for doing the presentation and joining us and providing education to the families.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really delighted to come and talk to parents like myself about nutrition during a pandemic.
And if you need any more information on how to contact us, you can go on our website and you can find contact information for any of our parent partners or parent educators on there.
Thank you, and everybody have a great day.